We have some massive stories to get through tonight, my friends, as this player is finally set to return back to first team training. On top of that, I'll be discussing big interviews, big updates, and big transfer rumors. So I hope you guys ain't missed me too much. Apologies for being away these last couple of weeks. I have a big milestone coming up in my life next month, and I'll explain that in the future. And on top of that too, I've had some health issues where my back has been kind of messed up recently too, but I'm back now, ready to make videos, and I'm really excited for this weekend's game against Liverpool. So I hope you guys are happy to see me again. Hit that like button, show us some love. But before I continue on, today's video is brought to you by Football Prizes, where currently there is an amazing competition you guys can enter. You have the chance to win a signed and framed shirt of both Enzo Fernandez and Moises Caicedo, with 20% of all net proceeds going to Down Syndrome charity in South London. So if you guys like the sound of this prize, make sure you enter in the card above and description below. So let's start things off with club news, as this evening we learned that Reece James is finally set to return back to first team training, and it does seem like he is in contention to play against Liverpool this Sunday at the end of this week. So that's amazing news to hear. As we learned prior from Enzo Maresca, he revealed that until players like him are 110, 120% fit, they won't be taking part in training sessions. So Maresca is really serious about looking after these players and only using them when they're above their optimum fitness. Now, it's been a massive shame for Reece James. I think he's been suffering with his hamstring for longer than we all originally expected. He was playing nearly every game in pre-season. Maybe in hindsight that was a bit of a mistake, but it does seem like this time when he picked up a minor hamstring injury, we've taken even more care and attention when it comes to allowing him that time to come back to full speed. Realistically, there was no real rush to bring him back. We have Gusto, Vega, plus a host of other options that Maresca has been using regularly in every single match day. So Reece James is at the time and patience now to come back fully fit and fully ready. And to be honest with you, I'm really curious to see how Reece James is going to do playing in this system. Now, I feel like we've seen some promise when it comes to fullbacks playing the inverted role. Gusto, Vega, Cucurella, many others, they've shown some promise, but no one's necessarily mastered that position just yet. I think on paper though, Reece James could be the upgrade guy there that really just takes the system to a different level. Reece James playing in midfield, having that license to make underlapping runs, overlapping runs, plus the quality he brings in the final third, on top of the great defensive play as well. He could be like an amazing player that can become part of this new makeshift midfield three. So I'm really excited to see what Reece can do. Hopefully he is fit and ready to start against Liverpool. That will be a massive boost for us. And I think we have to remember, Reece James is still one of our best players. So having someone of this level coming back to this squad in the great form we're in, that really excites me. And I'd love to see what Reece can do alongside Cole, Palmer and Madueke down that right-hand side. So yes, my friends, Reece James is back now. Share your thoughts and opinions. And this now takes us forward now to the latest transfer updates. Now, we turn our attentions to Gremio's 16-year-old sensation in Gabriel Mec, because we haven't learned many updates since reports originally came out a few months back suggesting that we had agreed a deal of around 24 million euros to sign Gabriel Mec. Since then, we've heard absolutely nothing until today. And right now, reports from reputable sources in Brazil are suggesting that we may now be calling our interest in Gabriel Mec. So I'm going to explain to you exactly what the hell's going on. As I said, we reached an agreement of around 24 million euros, and these also included contractual targets. We also agreed personal terms with Mec's team and the player himself. However, the contract had not been officially signed, and the deal had been stagnating ever since reports first came out near the end of August. Now, one of the reasons we are learning behind why the deal is currently stagnating is that currently our club are re-reviewing the player and reviewing and observing his technical aspects, because reports have come out suggesting that some of the player's performances recently haven't been impressing us as much. And for myself, I think the main reason as to why is that if Gremio are asking for this amount of money, you're expecting more guarantees from the player you're about to buy. Now, I'm not here to put too much pressure on the kids. 16 years old, his body's still developing. I don't know what's going on in his personal life or what's happening with the youth team, but you can't write kids off this young. But of course, because we're set to invest quite a large amount of money on the player, does it make sense for us to commit to signing him for this price right now? Probably not if we currently have a few reservations around him. In the meantime though, as we've stalled the deal, there's other clubs in England that have made contact with the player, but no one's made any official bids right now. Now, Gremio feel like there are no need to have to rush or sell the player right now because they've hit their targets when it comes to receiving transfer profits. They've already earned around $100 million in transfer sales last summer, so there is no need to force the sale of Mec right now. And I think we see things the same way, because realistically, if we commit to signing him, we can't actually even use the player until 2026. And there's no guarantees that he'll be part of our first team squads. So technically, why force through a sale right now when you don't have to? It makes sense for ourselves and all parties right now just to watch and see what happens. There's nothing to say that Mec will find his form again and start to make sense of his amazing talents. Maybe for ourselves, we'll come back again when Mec has really forced himself in that Gremio first team. That could be another year away before something like that happens though. So I think it's best for us right now to commit to just following the player. The player knows that we're interested. We have great contacts and relations with his team and with his club. So there's nothing to say that we won't come back to strike another deal. And if anything, it reminds me of our pursuits for Endrick of Palmeiras, where ultimately we didn't go through signing the player, even though at the time we had won the race to sign Endrick. For ourselves, we felt like the value for money was just not there. And the only teenage player we feel who has been worth the incredible sums of money is none other than Estevao Willian. That's why we committed millions and millions to sign him, and that's why we didn't commit those same funds towards Endrick and now currently Gabriel Mec. I think that's best for all parties, to be honest. I think there's less pressure now on Mec. He can focus on his development. He doesn't have to be seen as like an overrated talent who has to really take the world by storm because he's signed for us for big money as a 16-year-old. So I think it's a responsible thing for all parties. Let's see what happens, but realistically, we have so much attacking depth that will last us for significant years at this football club that realistically, if we did miss out on Mec, isn't necessarily the end of the world. Now, who knows if these will be like famous last words for myself, time will tell, but currently the deal has stalled. It's not completely dead, but it's close to being dead. So my friends, that's the latest transfer updates. And to move on to the third story, let's discuss the big transfer rumor which came out, courtesy of Court Offside, Vikaj.net, and a host of other outlets, as they revealed that Man City are looking for the successor to Kevin De Bruyne, who is expected to leave Man City at the end of the season to potentially go to Saudi Arabia. And reports reveal that Man City want to sign Cole Palmer as De Bruyne's successor. And they're more than happy to pay around 150 million euros, a British transfer records, to make this deal happen. Okay, obviously during international break, stories like this, rumors like this become a thing. I thought it'd be like a fun story to discuss. I'm not expecting Cole Palmer to leave at all, but it'll be kind of boring if I just completely ignore the story and move on. Let's have a conversation, right? It's not going to hurt us. And let's think about how Man City could even have the possibility to sign Cole Palmer. There'd have to be many factors which work against us, but realistically, the only two I can think of would be Cole Palmer wanting to go back to Man City because it's the club that he was basically born into, in the city he was born in. Is that something he could say no to? Who knows? And the second reason is Man City are prepared to pay stupid money to even attempt to sign Cole Palmer. Realistically though, Palmer only just signed his contract extension and we own him for nearly close to a decade. So it's going to take something stupidly ambitious that we've never seen before for Man City to even have a chance to sign Cole Palmer. I don't see it happening whatsoever though. I think Palmer now We were the club to showcase his talents. We were the club to showcase him to the world, to elevate and utilize what he has. And I feel like he's already at the part of the club, of course, where hopefully all his sporting ambitions can come to life. At the same time, him being a Manchester boy, I'll always think in the back of my mind, if the opportunity ever came up, maybe not next summer, but maybe in like 2 years, 3 years, maybe even 4 years, could Cole Palmer consider going back to Manchester? Who knows? Realistically, he either ends his career here, or there's only like a handful of clubs that could even afford to sign him to begin with. Still though, I'll continue to engage with the story. You could argue that we have two talents in Kendrick Pires and Estevao Willian that would be successors to Palmer leaving potentially. Maybe more for Estevao Willian. I think for Kendrick Pires currently, he's having a little bit of a little blip in his form right now. He's not currently being in the team at Independiente as often. He's had some difficulties as he's playing more on the left side right now compared to playing on his normal right wing flank or number 10 position. But outside of that, I think he's also just coming to terms with being one of the most famous teenagers in Ecuador. And currently he's got so much media scrutiny on him, so much celebrity status on him. I'm reading like crazy dating rumors, you know, every time he goes out or even breathes, there's big reports on him. And when you are a young kid, right, only 17 years old, you're not a man just yet. You're still very young, you're still developing, you're still finding yourself, etc., etc. You could probably understand if there were going to be little blips, right, that could potentially sway him off. Hopefully this is a minor blip. Hopefully he gets his head screwed on and gets back in the game. But it does make sense for him to be out of that team right now, have a bit of an arm around him, and just get looked after a little bit, because we know what this kid can do on the field, right? But the reality simply is, when Pires joins up next season, don't even think that he is ready to take over any mantle of a Cole Palmer. He still needs like a few years ahead of him to really develop. And it just reiterates my point, where if these two are potential successors, they won't be the actual bona fide successors for many, many years. If anything, it seems like Man City will need a quick replacement for De Bruyne if De Bruyne leaves at the end of the season. And they already have Oscar Bob, Phil Foden, they signed Claudio Echeverri from River Plate. They have options there already. So I don't know if it's just like agents or people putting out little silly rumors just to at least present some awareness to Palmer that, listen, Man City potentially still have their eyes on you. But outside of Man City offering life-changing money to Palmer, impossible transfer fees, and impossible everything, it's just not going to happen for the foreseeable future. I can't confidently say it will never happen, as he's our player, but I feel like for the next 3 to 4 years minimum, Cole Palmer will be a Chelsea player. So how do you guys feel about this rumor? Share your thoughts and opinions below. And right now, let's end things by discussing a big interview that came out tonight, as we learn some insight behind our superstar teen talent in Estevao Willian. Currently this season, he has 11 goals and 8 assists in 38 appearances. He's won 2 caps with the Brazil national team squad. The guy's an absolute sensation, and for the interviews that came out, I'll be quoting both The Guardian and a reputable source in Brazil, a called Placar, who actually interviewed him too. So I'm going to be giving you guys the best bits from both interviews. But to give you guys some insight on Estevao Willian, he revealed that he's actually comfortable being called a star, and he revealed that his ambitious plans for the future of his career includes being part of that World Cup squad with the Brazil national team, as well as winning the Ballon d'Or in the future. That is his long-term vision and goal. He revealed that his confidence and ambitions come from his family and their values. His father supports him on the field, and his mother supports him off that field. He said that his father has always been beside him, but his father demands the maximum at all times. His father will only support him if Estevao is doing his very best. And I think when you're a young player that has to focus on his talents, his potential, and his career, that is the best mentality to have. When you're fortunate enough to have the potential and capacities to maybe win a Ballon d'Or in the future. He was very appreciative of his parents, saying that his parents have been shielding him from the public eye ever since he was 10 years old. Estevao's been a big prospect in Brazil for a very, very long time, but having his core family values has helped him get to this position to begin with. He revealed that his parents and his family are very religious. As a kid, he used to play the drums in church from like a 6-year-old to a 7-year-old. And funny enough, he revealed that he is a fan of gospel music. He still likes his own music, but he says that the music of his friends makes him feel a little bit lost because their music's a bit too dirty. Now, he's either the biggest geek you ever seen, or his parents have really gotten panned when it comes to media duties. But outside of jokes, you know what? I think the kid's a very humble, honest type of figure, and he's kind of reminding me of like a young Kaká when it comes to his mentality. You know, Kaká was like a very goody two-shoes character, very religious, very serious, and look where that took him in his career. So the fact that Estevao has a similar mentality, I think that's really amazing. And that mentality, those virtues, have put him in this position he's in right now. And it does seem like the hard work is already starting to pay off because he's really taking the Brazilian League by storm now, playing for Palmeiras. He's got his international caps, and as the player himself revealed, he's improved as a player. He revealed that he understands when he has to dribble and carry the ball compared to releasing it to his teammates, where before he'd like to just carry and carry, but right now he has to be smarter as a player. He revealed that because he's playing in a more physically demanding league, playing alongside senior players, they're physically stronger than him. So this is why he has to focus even more on the timing. And he revealed that this is why he has to be even smarter when it comes to getting the advantage against his teammates. And to be honest, I think it's this capacity to want to learn, improve, and be humble that makes him a coach's gift, to be honest with you, because many players his age would only want to focus on the dribbling, the carrying. It would take them a few years into their career to understand when to play with their teammates. And I'll give you like Marcus Rashford as a prime example. So the fact that Estevao can already do this right now, and it's actually showing results, makes this guy an absolute monster in the making. But speaking of monsters, Estevao revealed that he's already been in contact with Cole Palmer through socials. He said that after he signed for us and scored his first goal for Palmeiras, he did the Cole Palmer celebration in honor of the player, with Palmer saying that, of course, you know, he's going to be an absolute star. And it is nice to know that our players are putting their arm around Estevao, they are in contact with him, and they are getting ready for his arrival at this football club. Estevao also revealed that himself and Kendrick Paz have been in communication, and they're both very excited to join up with us at the end of next year's summer. So very, very exciting times. Paz, Estevao, Willian, they're going to be two massive signings for us. I can't wait to see what they do. So it was nice to read more things about Estevao Willian. I think I can understand completely why the club committed the amount of money towards signing him, because not only does he have the talent, but his head's screwed on. He has the network, he has the family support, he has all these key ingredients that will give you that confidence to pay the money you did to sign him, to be out of the competition. So I'm really excited for Estevao Willian. And on that note, my friends, that is the end of today's video. So I hope you guys enjoy. Hit that like button, and I'll catch you all tomorrow with some more videos.